All right, let's talk about something we've all dealt with, miscommunication. Why does it happen so often? Today, we're going to dig into the hidden barriers that trip us up, using our source material to light the way. Let's jump right in. You ever have that feeling? You're talking, you think you're being crystal clear, but the person you're talking to just isn't getting it. It's so frustrating, right? That gap right there between what we mean and what gets heard, that's what we're going to unpack.
So, what exactly is a communication barrier? Well, simply put, it's anything that messes with the message. Think of it like static on the line. It just garbles what you're trying to say and what they're trying to hear.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. First up, the big why. Then we'll look at the barriers that are around us, the ones inside us and the ones between us. And finally, we'll talk about the path to clarity. Sometimes it feels like our conversations just hit these invisible walls. But here's the thing. They're only invisible until you learn how to see them. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Okay, let's start with the most obvious stuff. The barriers we can actually see and hear, the ones in our environment, and even within our own physical bodies. And right away, it's important to know the difference here. Physiological barriers, that's about our bodies, think hearing problems or maybe speech disorders. Physical barriers, on the other hand, are all about what's going on around us. And man, these physical barriers are literally everywhere. That choppy internet connection on a video call, the construction crew right outside your window, even the layout of your office can stop a conversation in its tracks. They all mess with the flow. So we've covered the outside stuff. Now let's turn the focus inward. Because honestly, some of the absolute biggest walls we face, they aren't out there in the world. They're right inside our own minds. And this is such a huge one, isn't it? I mean, what happens when our own feelings get in the way? Let's be real, we're not robots. Stress, our personal biases, even our own insecurities, they totally color how we talk and how we listen. Just think about it. Psychological barriers like being super stressed can make you completely misinterpret the tone of a simple email. Emotional stuff, like fear, might make you dodge a tough conversation you know you need to have. And interpersonal issues like a lack of trust, whoa, that can poison an entire relationship from the start. Okay, so we've looked at the world around us and the world inside us. Now, let's look at that really tricky space between us. This is where things like language, culture, and all those unspoken social rules can really complicate things. I mean, the words themselves can be a total minefield. You use a bunch of technical jargon and you've lost half the room. You use a common idiom, but it means nothing to someone from a different background. And don't even get me started on tone. What you think is a harmless, sarcastic joke can land completely wrong. And that's a perfect lead-in to cultural barriers. Something as simple as a hand gesture can be totally fine in one place and deeply offensive in another. Some cultures are super direct, just say what you mean. Others are much more subtle. If you're not aware of these differences, it's so easy to misstep. The source material also brings up something really important: gender barriers. Because of social conditioning, we can sometimes develop different ways of communicating. For instance, research often shows that in certain situations, women get interrupted way more often. And, well, you can't get your point across if you can't even finish your sentence, right? Okay, wow, that's a lot of barriers, a lot of ways for things to go wrong. So what do we do about it? Where do we even start? It actually begins with something really simple, but incredibly powerful: just being aware. After all, you can't tear down a wall you don't even know is there. So let's pull it all together. We've got the barriers around us, the physical stuff. We've got the barriers inside us, our psychology and emotions. And we've got the barriers between us, all that social and cultural stuff. And just like that, you can now spot 8 major types of communication barriers. That's not just a list of terms. It's a whole new way to look at every single conversation you have. And this really gets to the heart of it all. The point isn't just to know about these barriers. The real magic happens when you start spotting them in real time, in a work meeting, a text exchange, a conversation with your family. And then you can actually do something about them. So there you have it. If you've got the map, you can see the walls. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? Which one are you going to start chipping away at first?